Hey, what is the title of this video going to be? What do you think we should title this thing as? And I can edit this part out, or if it looks
Facing government and racist police corruption head on.
Got it.
Hi, my name is Barry Jo Stull. I came to the Keaton-Oden Memorial Vigil here once a month on the 12th of the month. And one of the issues here is police accountability. My story is, I was a Pacific Green Party candidate. One of the things on my voter pamphlet page was, Stull's not a career politician. Posturing for your vote, he fearlessly tackles government and racist police corruption head on. I have a scar on the top of my head where the campus safety at Lewis and Clark College intentionally scoured my head on the paving stones, so I know what I'm talking about. This is my contact information if anybody needs that. Barry Jo Stull, cannabisboo@yahoo.com. The issue for me is that as a social justice activist, I was told by Ace Hayes here in Portland that if I continued the line of work that I was doing, I'd experience exactly what I have in the past 25 years. In 2003, I had an encounter with the Portland police. Police officer Jason Seri put in his police report that the issue of Stephen Dons came up. Stephen Dons died in the Justice Center after a shootout involving the Portland police and maybe Mr. Dons himself. We don't know who killed Portland police officer Colleen Weibel. However, that was put in the police report also that I was going to beat them in court on this marijuana charge because I was protected under the Oregon Medical Marijuana Act. My trial was scheduled for April 20th, 2004. In March of 2004, the officer who put that information about Stephen Dons in his police report fatally shot and killed an unarmed black man, James Jahar Perez, in St. John's. And I was waiting my trial on April 20th when the phone rang for me when I was at work. And I had a conversation with Deputy District Attorney Travis Sewell, who said he'd done a favor for me when he didn't have a warrant issued for my arrest for missing court. And I said to him, what are you talking about? We're scheduled for call on April 19th. Dr. Grimm's scheduled for trial appearance on April 20th. He says, oh, there must be some kind of a court mix-up, he said. I happened to be in the courtroom when Judge Gernot called our case. I guess we're going to have to reschedule. On April 20th, 2004, District Attorney Michael Strunk was chairing the coroner's inquest into the fatal shooting of James Jahar Perez by Jason Seri. Dr. Grimm appeared at our rescheduled trial in the summer of 2004, and my defenses under the Medical Marijuana Act were gagged by the court ruling that State versus O&B limited my options in that situation, and I appealed. As my appeal was pending in 2005, the Oregon Court of Appeals ruled in a case called State versus Miles that the O&B rationale was made obsolete by the very Medical Marijuana Act that I expected to be protected by, which is why I worked to have that and other cannabis laws effected. And so anyhow, the upshot is, as I was appealing the conviction from 2004, my nonprofit affordable housing landlord evicted me from 4066 Northeast Grand Avenue, apartment 5, which I just happen to have a picture of in this burgeoning file. And the landlord there destroyed over $20,000 from this apartment, number 5. My Library of Congress research that got me accolades on page 3 of the Great Book of Hemp, along with Jack Hare, Gatewood Galbraith, Jack Frazier, Barry Stull, that's me. My Library of Congress research was in this room when in March of 2006, the Oregon Court of Appeals ruled I never should have been locked out because I had a stay pending appeals. The landlord went in and took a week to destroy everything in this apartment, including my medical marijuana garden authorized by my neurologist, Dr. Grimm. Well, as you might expect, they did it again, and in October 2006, the landlord destroyed $4,775 worth of musical instruments and tools. I got a college degree in music from Lewis and Clark College, which I mentioned attacked me. I have this document from September of 2014, where I'd gone to a Portland Housing Bureau forum on how to spend $20 million on affordable housing in Northeast Portland, and Maxine Fitzpatrick, who we just saw the picture of, was on the agenda. I could not believe it. I had known by that point that PCRI was keeping the entirety of the apartment complex vacant. My consequent research has established that the apartment was vacant for 3 years as of October 2014. The landlord intends to build Kafori Court as a 42-unit affordable housing complex just shy of $9.5 million. They have not collected, in my calculations, somewhere in the neighborhood of about $100,000 in affordable housing rent in keeping that fiveplex vacant. I think Gretchen Kafori did not intend for her name to be on a piece of property that is so obvious, the proof of the corruption, the homeless industrial complex, the militarization of our police, the corruption in our courts. It's absolutely ludicrous. So, any questions? Drop me an email. Go by 4066 Northeast Grand. The police are here. You got them. Perfect. So anyhow, everybody knows about this. Mayor Hales, the entirety of City Council, but it's the Oregon Legislature, Senator Chip Shields knows about it, Lou Frederick knows about it, you know about it. Now you know how to get a hold of it.
And what are you suggesting that people do about this now that we know a little bit about it? What can we do, do you think?
Well, I think that the vacant fiveplex at the corner of Northeast Mason and Northeast Grand is a perfect opportunity for us to meet and greet each other, the situation, a place we can just memorialize all of these things that we've been working for and all these things that have been doing against our interests.
Now, you gave us a way to contact you, right? Do you have a, was there a website on there too?
No,
website right yet, but
I'm an old school
blog.
guy. I was
Okay.
born in the 50s, and I know how to put a roll on a player piano, but no, I'm not web capable. If anybody would like to volunteer video editing services, I have years of public testimony that's available on the government websites.
Okay.
I'd like to do something with perhaps a YouTube channel, not to select anyone out. That's a name that seems to be popular, but I would like someone to help edit down some of this stuff so we can just show that, like I mentioned, everyone knows about this. I've done testimony at the Oregon Legislature, I've done testimony at the City Council, I've done testimony at the Multnomah County Board of Commissioners, I've done it at the various conglomerations that they have. Right now we have a new thing I refer to as Ollie Ollie Oxen Free, which they refer to as a home for everyone, which is the redoing of the 10-year plan to end homelessness. As that expired and there were more homeless people than ever, they came up with a new name, a new protocol, and the interesting thing is the Home for Everybody is a partnership with the Multnomah County, the City of Portland, the City of Gresham, and Home Forward, which is the renamed Housing Authority of Portland. And all of that is a product of Gretchen Kafori's work, as my history understands it, to get the funding for affordable housing. And apparently, according to what I hear from Nick Fish's plans, we're going to get that problem solved as soon as we buy that land from Zidell's, the rich people. So that's kind of the way they want to do it. They use folks like me. I have housing now through a HUD grant as a person with a disability. I sued a social service agency called Joint in federal court for violating the Fair Housing Act. And I have my housing. And right now PGE has, that's our electric company here, Portland General Electric has some version of $890 credit where my account has been paid months and months forward. I won't use the electricity they paid for until 2016. Why does PGE have your tax dollars with me being the excuse? I'm not buying it.
good question.